Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and in this video I want to talk about how I decide what to make videos of for my travel videos. Now, my channel has about 20% of the videos being RV education videos. That's a totally different thing. Here I'm just going to talk about the 80% or so of my videos that are travel videos, going around and basically playing tourist and videoing what I'm seeing for you. And my number one goal is to make my travel videos as interesting as I can. And I like to keep the flow going at a pretty rapid pace with pretty much a constant narration. I've seen a lot of travel videos from other RVers and other people, and it tends to be a lot of just panning around with little or no narration, and I personally find those to get pretty boring pretty quick. So I try to make mine so that I can retain my audience, keep the action and the audio going. And I think it's also important to keep my videos visual as opposed to activities that I might like to do. There are a lot of activities that I like to do personally that I just don't think would make a good video of. They're more activity related rather than visual, and with this video experience being very visual medium, that's what I want to focus on. So I only will make a video with something where there's a lot of good things, interesting things to see. Now, as I'm traveling around, I find that most cities, towns, will have at least one interesting thing to see that may be what I consider video worthy. And by the way, I may have coined that term video worthy myself. I've not heard of any other YouTubers using that term, and I got the idea from that Seinfeld episode where Elaine was talking about guys she was dating being sponge-worthy. You might remember the sponge-worthy episode. That's where I kind of got the idea. So I only video things that I consider personally to be video-worthy. And there are also a number of cities, some very large cities, where I could not find one single thing that I considered video-worthy to go and see in their town. The best example I can think of was Tulsa, Oklahoma. I did research before I got there to try and find something interesting to make a video of in Tulsa, and I decided to just drive through on the interstate and not even stop. Just wasn't worth it. Same kind of thing I found in Omaha, Nebraska and Tampa, Florida. Couldn't find anything interesting enough for me there to video. If you're familiar with those cities and you know something there that's worthwhile, then please let me know. Now, my number one source for research in finding things to video is the traveladvisor.com website. And I've looked at some other websites for finding tourist things to do, but none of them are anywhere near as extensive as TripAdvisor.com is. However, TripAdvisor can be very tricky. Just about everything on TripAdvisor is listed by city. So you just search on a city and it gives you a list of all the things to do. So when you get to TripAdvisor.com, you want to click on things to do and then search on a city. However, usually it will only show the things right in that city. And that can become a problem because there may be other cities right around that major city where things are also listed that are not listed in the main city. Like a good example is Atlanta, Georgia. When I was there, I wanted to go see the Stone Mountain Park, which I had been to about 20 years before, so I knew it was there. When I pulled up Atlanta on TripAdvisor, it was not there. I checked yesterday. It's still not there. Even though I complained about it specifically to TripAdvisor, it's still not there. And Stone Mountain Park is about 7 miles from Atlanta, and it's right next to a city called Stone Mountain, Georgia. So if you go to Stone Mountain, Georgia in TripAdvisor, you will find it listed. So in a city like Atlanta, if there's like 30 different towns in and around Atlanta, you got to look up those 30 or so towns as well. Now, if you're in a state that is fairly small, like North or South Dakota, for example, you can just, instead of pulling up a city, just pull up the state, and it'll list all the things to do in that state. You can't do it by county, apparently. That would, I think, be ideal, but I've tried it, and counties generally don't work. So what I'm saying is, it takes a lot of research to find these things. It's not that I'm just driving around and, oh, look, there's something interesting there to see. That very rarely happens when I find something just simply by driving by it and, oh, look, there's something. No, that doesn't often happen. So a lot of what I do is research on the internet to find all these interesting places to go and video. Now, if I've looked through TripAdvisor for a certain city and haven't found much at all, the next thing I do is I just go to Google Maps, pull up that city, zoom into it, and just scan up and down, left and right throughout the city, and a lot of things will pop up that you will see there on the map that will tip me off. And I have found a number of things there that I didn't find on TripAdvisor. So just scanning Google Maps is a good research, especially if you put in search terms for something like museums or parks, that kind of thing. It helps those particular things pop up on the map. Now, another thing you can do is go to a visitor center and look through brochures. I've done that a number of times. That usually doesn't help much at all, because very rarely would I find something in a brochure in a visitor center that I haven't also already found on TripAdvisor. Although sometimes these brochures come with discount coupons and things like that that can be helpful as well. And you've got a person there at the visitor center to ask questions about certain things that maybe will help you decide what to do. So before I go into a city or an area, I will do research on the internet to find things to do when I get there. I don't usually go into a city and then start looking unless I'm going to be spending a few days there, because it can take a half a day at least to find things to do in my research. So I generally like to do that before I get to that city or area. So I just want to let you know that making of my videos is just a part of what I do. I probably spend more time doing research than actually recording a video. So basically my process is research, making of the video, later going back to my motorhome and editing it, and all my videos are heavily edited, and then uploading it to YouTube. So I made this video just in case you're curious about how I do what I do. Good day, folks.